Shell Songs, a story for every Celan. The hush before dawn, a newborn named Ember arrives, swaddled in breath and possibility. The world is an echoing cavern, every face a mirror, every sound a drum. These first 10 years are the gathering, when pebbles of language and feathers of feeling fill tiny pockets. Ember learns the rhythm of doors opening, of scraped knees sealing, of yes and no braided into maybe. The shell is soft, translucent, perfect for collecting light. At 10, the inner walls grow tight. Ember wakes one morning and hears the shell creak. A question, who am I when no one is looking, vibrates like a moth against glass. Puberty storms in, a thunderhead of hormones and hallway whispers. In the breaking 12, cracks appear. A shard falls, revealing skin that tingles in cool air. Ember discovers music loud enough to drown doubt, friendships sharp enough to carve initials in lunch table wood. The first veil thins, the 20s are firewalk. Ember sprints across coals named college, first love, rent. Nights stretch, mornings shrink. Passports collect stamps and scars trade places with tattoos. Saturn, the stern elder planet, circles back and plants its flag at 29, declaring time to choose, borrowed map or inner compass. Ember resigns from a safe job, packs a trembling suitcase, and boards a one-way bus toward an unnamed city. The shell drops behind like an abandoned apartment key. The 30s open as forge and feather. Metal meets heat, careers forged, partnerships fused, children or projects hatched. Yet feather-light dreams insist on room. Between daycare pickups and midnight spreadsheets, Ember writes secret poems on grocery receipts, sensing another mold. At 39, a mirror-fogged bathroom becomes a vision quest. Strands of gray, a pulse in the throat, and the realization that success without meaning is a gilded cage. The door unlatches. 40 is Skybridge. Hormones rearrange the furniture. Parents wrinkle into mortality. Teenagers test gravity. Ember begins weekly walks alone at dawn, each step a mantra. Shed, shed, shed. On a silent ridge at 47, lightning spiders across cloud. Ember laughs not at the storm, but at the decades of sprinting from storms. The shell splits cleanly, releasing a breath held since childhood. Air tastes of sage and second chances. The 50s unfold as harvest and hearth. Knowledge ripens. Younger travelers seek Ember's maps. Teaching becomes transmutation. Pain composted into wisdom. Triumph distilled into torch oil. At 58, Saturn revisits. Bowing low, elderhood beckons. Ember answers by pruning possessions to a suitcase and a story stick. The lighter the pack, the farther the horizon. The 60s sing River Return. Cells slow, time quickens. Grandchildren or grand ideas sit at Ember's feet, wide-eyed. Stories flow like water, smoothing the stones of regret. One twilight, Ember watches fireflies and understands every decade was always already here, nested like Russian dolls. Shells never vanished. They became rings in the trunk, memory that lets the sap rise. Beyond 70, Ember enters star window. Vision blurs outward, inward crystal clear. The collective hums at the edge of hearing. Unseen allies, UFO metal, angel feather, ancestor bone form a council of soft light. Ember feels the final veil thrum. With a smile both toothless and newborn, Ember steps through, not into absence, but into everyone, where all embers sing together, octave upon octave. And so the story circles back to dawn, inviting each reader, gather what glitters in your first shell. Break when walls constrict, trust the ache. Walk the fire, forge, and feather, let purpose temper passion. Cross the sky bridge, and breathe storms like incense. Harvest the lessons, hand out seeds. Return as river, polishing stones for others. Open the star window when it appears, and remember the song is communal. For every decade is a doorway, every shell a note, and every soul the choir. May your next crack be melodic.